Forgot the rest of the script already. Hello, and welcome to Vex Hex. I'm your host, Haley.
And I'm Audra.
We are two novice miniaturists embarking on our first massive / mammoth project.
We are going to be creating a mega dollhouse from scratch.
This project is going to start from unassembled and progress all the way to complete and finished project.
Yes.
Sounds like a massive mistake, right? Let's dive into it.
How did we get here?
Where did we go wrong?
We are making a dollhouse, to be specific, 2 of them from Real Good Toys. They are the Vermont and the Victoria and farmhouse models.
We're taking these 2 disparate houses and we're actually planning to merge them into one Frankensteinian mega mansion. So the idea is to model the house after a significant setting point in a novel series that Audra and I have been writing for a very long time. This is sort of a break from writing. It's a very sort of tactile exploration of our own world.
So why do we need 2 houses, right? Well, part of the issue is this is such a central set piece to our novels, and in our heads this is going to be a manor house. We're going to need a lot more than just the 5 to 6 rooms per house given to us.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword because we've written this house. We know exactly what rooms are needed to progress the narrative. So we already know how many rooms are supposed to be in this house.
They don't make dollhouses with that many rooms. So we're going to take 2 very similar ones, and with the magic of really intrepid cardboard use
and wood glue.
And lots of wood glue, we are hopefully going to turn them into one central manor complex.
Operation Now Kiss. However, in planning this project, which you might be able to surmise was very spontaneous, we ran into a couple speed bumps. We initially did not intend to build these houses from scratch. In fact, everything we had been looking at before was prefabricated, as in it was already built. Now, let me clarify, we had been looking at these dollhouses from Real Good Toys in particular, but constructed, and the place where we bought them offered them as both pre-constructed and unassembled. And it was a very long conversation between Audra and I, and we flip-flopped in between them, right? But at the end of the day, we determined that we had to buy them unassembled in order to effectively design the interior and exterior as we desired. We didn't really understand how we could wallpaper and floor and paint and add wiring effectively to a pre-assembled house. So thusly, that is why we are starting from the ground up, literally going to attach the shingles to the roof piece by piece. It was also really important to us to be able to modify the existing architecture of the dollhouse. While Audra was right, we needed a preset amount of rooms, there are facets to the dollhouses that we want to change, i.e. we want to remove some of the staircases, we'd like to extend some of the walls, we'd like to get rid of some of the others, and we didn't think we could feasibly do that to a pre-assembled house, whereas we'd be able to easily intercept those intersections if we built it from the ground up. Though it gave us a headache even thinking about it, that's why we're building from the ground up. Let's cut off some questions before we even post this video. Let's hit some of these FAQs. So the number 1 question is going to be, do we have any previous experience doing this kind of stuff?
No! When we're talking novice, we mean novice. We both got COVID. Whole house was quarantined for 2 weeks.
Actually, like 20 days. It was our total count, 20 days. It was a long time.
And you get really bored. So, what did we do? You hop on Amazon, you buy a Parisian miniature house kit, which is 1 bedroom and 1/24 scale. So they are the size of a shoebox, and therefore pretty easy to do within 20 days, right? And as you can see, going from the original box to our visions, we took both some similar steps, a la team remove the staircase, always.
Why do they put them in there?
It just doesn't work.
It's not like the doll would fit up the stairs.
This one didn't even have anywhere to go. It's a skylight and a staircase.
I don't get it. It's such a waste of space. Stop putting staircases in.
I had to put a shelf there, guys.
It was weird. Anyway, rant aside. So as Audra was explaining, even so we both bought the same set, and the idea was that we were just going to sort of dip our toes into the miniaturist pond. And as you could see, despite buying the exact same kit, they look radically different. We were really able to take them and each customize them and doing some of those key things like changing the architecture, really exploring those interior design elements and stuff like that. But that was the extent of our miniature experience prior to diving into this project.
Yep.
Going from the Parisian dorm to the Real Good Toy Dollhouse is a lot like watching Top Gun and then piloting Air Force One the next day. Like, is there some overlap?
Thankfully, we're not total idiots at least. I do a lot of cosplay work, so I'm really good with fabric management. I'm good with kind of drafting up patterns, working with a lot of glue to hold things together. And Haley has a really good all-around experience.
I've been crafting on and off my whole life. It's always been something I've been drawn to. I know how to do a little bit of everything, right? So I know how to sew, knit, crochet, paper craft. I know how to paint. I know how to glue. I mess a lot with different materials and medias and stuff like that. So I actually have like a wealth of crafting basis, but I have no expertise in any given craft. If you like come up to me and you're like, oh, have you ever done like paper quilling? I'm like, yeah, I have. Like, So the second question that we're gonna get is, where did you get these houses? We were at Hobby Lobby for a completely different craft project, looking for fake grapes. We saw this exact brand of house, the Real Good Toys brand that we spent hours researching,
Wishing for,
like
sighing over,
being clearanced out. And so we kind of took that as a sign from the crafting gods that we needed to pick these up. And I'm glad we did, because they were the last ones there.
We actually bought our fake grapes, went home, immediately regretted our life choices, went back to the Hobby Lobby, spent more money than we ever have wanted to ever spend in a Hobby Lobby, and regret nothing.
If I were to TLDR is, like, we got them at Hobby Lobby, but that's very strange because we had never seen them anywhere other than these very specialty online craft sites.
Mm-hmm. If you would have asked me, can you buy these in a physical store, I would have laughed in your face and said no.
Right, it was just so luck.
All right, so now that you know how we got our magical dollhouses.
They're magical, I like that.
What's the plan to do with them?
That's a great question. As we've mentioned throughout this video, we don't really have an idea of what we're doing, but we do know that there's going to be a formidable amount of research to preclude any actual activity with the dollhouse. We're a big fan of Bentley House Minis. If you're not watching her channel, you absolutely should. She is fantastic. We've adopted her into our family, but she doesn't know it yet. She has these really great videos where she talks about these books, and they're like very Victorian architecture, exterior and interior books, and it kind of shows what the molding looked like, what some of the carpets looked like, what some of the textiles looked like of the time to create period specific looks. So the very first thing we did was we went and bought a lot of those. We'd be able to like reconcile visually what we wanted to make against a proven source.
Yeah, and even some of these are even in color, so it will help us influence our color choices, our aesthetic choices. Shout out to Thrift Books for having these for a very good price.
Not sponsored.
But if you want to, call us.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we're going to do the actual unboxing. We're gonna see what all the parts are and what we're working with. And we're gonna look at what the schematic for the houses look like and start making our modifications. What walls do we wanna get rid of? How do we eliminate this staircase? If we wanted to move a partition, can we do that? We basically wanna have a rough understanding of what these houses are going to look like at the first unboxing. Then we can assign what each room is going to be. Is this one going to be the parlor? Is this one going to be bedroom A? Is this one going to be the kitchen? Due to world conditions right now, especially with anything in regards to shipping, there's an exceptionally long lead time on materials such as textiles, papers, glues, fabrics, and stuff like that. So we want to have ample time to get all that in so that we can be building and painting while waiting for the inevitable months-long lead time on some of these items.
I just got some wallpaper we ordered for the Parisian house yesterday.
I know that time means nothing, but it was 2 months. It was 2 months.
I still have scrapbooking papers.
Then we're gonna start with the exterior elements. Using those books that Audra found on Thrift Book, we're gonna decide what we're carving from balsa wood to make it look like a Gothic Victorian house. What can we add to the siding? What color should the shingles look like? How should we modify the porches? What can we do to this exterior to not make it look like a farmhouse, but instead make it look like an estate manor? That's gonna be next. So after that is playing with the pieces.
The real assembly.
After that,
See how things go.
yeah. Your last question will be, what are these videos gonna be about? What's the whole point of all these?
So when we were looking up how to assemble this house, when we were trying to decide whether or not we wanted it pre-made or incomplete, we found a lot of really good time lapses and slideshows, clip shows for specific parts. But we never found a full series from start to finish, recorded and edited, that was, this is literally what these pieces look like fresh out of the box, all the way to here it is assembled on the table 360 shot.
Which would have been really helpful for us. Like, that was the content we were looking for, and it wasn't there.
Was not.
It is that we're kind of making the content that we wish
We had when we were searching for this.
Yeah. And it's gonna be fraught with us learning what this art form is. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But we want other people to kind of also invite themselves into this, you know, and kind of figure out what's this really cool world of artists and stuff. Like, you should go and do a deep dive of other people who do this. The stuff they make is beautiful.
But it can be a little intimidating. So I think
Yes.
watching us stumble and swear and cry and bleed through this whole process is going to be really good to see that, oh hey, they have negative levels of experience in this area. And they did it, right? So then you'll be able to do it too, in a small or large scale, right?
Right?
Right.
This whole channel is dedicated to exploring what it takes to build one of these things. We're going to include tutorials on how to make furniture, on what goes into some of our design choices. Basically, we're going to give a deep delve into your novice guide to the world of miniaturists. And if that sounds up your alley, or if you're around to see us fail or succeed, or just hang around to witness the general fuckery, then I encourage you to like and subscribe, because this is totally gonna be right up your alley.
So if you're interested in a lot more behind the scenes effort too, bloopers, outtakes, all that fun stuff, also check out our Instagram, which Haley made yesterday.
It's very unglamorous. It shows you what our actual crafting style looks like, because we'll obviously try and make it look pretty for camera, but not in real life.
So we'd love to have you around for the journey, where you're open to expertise, critique, great memes, just general humor. Stick around for that, right?
And dog photos. Please.
And dog photos.
Please send your dog photos.
Cat, raccoon, anything really.
Yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the first video. We're gonna leave you there, and in the next video, we're actually gonna unbox these bitches. So, until then, fix this mess. Deuces.
Peace. Such beautiful.
I need to be a little closer. I'm really glad I pressed record while I fuck with this camera.
Which is hilarious, because she had just sold me on buying it pre-made. So we both looked at each other, and it, like, in unison, we're like, you're right.
Right. Yeah, we're like, wait.
Wait.
Is it working? Yeah.
Spent 5 minutes looking at the box of, like, discarded flower heads, going,
Those are free, by the way.
Yeah, do you think they'd let us take these? Are they free?
They're garbage.
We pay for them though. Like,
they're garbage.
It turns out we didn't need them, but we staged with them and then brought them back to the rightful home.
Yeah, we were just carrying around loose acorns, like garbage acorns. Like,
like
onesies.